But in XRP's case, they're trying to be a backbone for the financial system. So the Central Bank of England, the Central Bank of America, and so on. And if you have 4 hours of downtime inside of a country's financial system, it's something that cannot happen because it will cause havoc and protest and so on when the financial system is down. So what they're trying to achieve is absolutely monumental. A lot of people are going to give it essentially gratitude for what it's trying to achieve. It's not that XRP has to be 100% ready before they launch. They have to be 1 billion% ready before they launch. Because if a country's system, a financial system goes down for even a split second, it will cause major issues within the financial systems of all of these centralized banks. And if people just paid more attention to what their partnerships are by looking at the Bank of International Settlements and understanding those PDF documents, spending 5 minutes, 10 minutes reading through these documents, or just going to any centralized banks, and any centralized banks has a search bar where you can type in blockchain and it will bring up the applications or the testings they're doing. For example, the United Kingdom is doing a sandbox where they're testing out applications within the blockchain space before they release it to the retail space. All the institutions, and the sandbox idea is also implemented in the EU markets. It's also implemented in the Hong Kong and Singapore and Japan markets as well, where institutions are right now coming into the market space and they're going inside of this sandbox. They're test trying blockchains regarding tokenizations or any other aspects of cross-border payments before they implement it. So essentially what XRP is trying to achieve with these centralized banks, it's not something that can be done overnight. It has to be 1 billion% ready before it's launched. It's not a simple application in any sort of a way. And if people understood what it's trying to achieve and how it needs to be 1 billion% ready, then a lot of people more understand of how this can progress and expand their life and their portfolios.
Yeah, it's funny because Crypto Miles, I know you've been around for a while and you probably have friends and family. We all sit back, or at some point, people sit back and go, "Man, I wish I'd have been a part of the evolution of transportation, which was taxis, the Uber, the evolution of hotels. If I'd have jumped in earlier, the evolution of movies to Netflix, whatever it is." People don't realize this is the biggest evolution of anything that we could ever be a part of as individual people. A lot of times we miss the boat. And the great thing about this opportunity is you're talking about the evolution of money, the evolution of how we transfer money. What's bigger than that? I mean, and you're talking about a problem that's not just here in the US or not just there in England or not just here in Africa. It's global. So, I remember I went to China and they had their own form of a Uber type thing, or you go over here and they may have their own form of this and that, but this is global. And so when you think about that in its entirety and thinking about how you can get a little piece of that in making sure that you set it right, you're absolutely right. It has to be flawless. And when you think of Ripple in its entirety, and it goes back to that question of why don't most people see it? They'll go all in on a coin that was at one point was a joke, and hey, it's doing well now. But why is it doing well? Well, because a man, one of the richest men, one of the most popular men on earth, is pumping it. Doge to the moon, Elon. But when you look at a company like Ripple, and the fact that all the acquisitions, the fact that they put their money where their mouth is, they fought this, to most companies, probably this unwinnable fight, but they won and they continuously win. And then, it reminds me of, and I don't want to get too far off, but it reminds me of COVID. Some of us stood up for, hey, I don't want to get vaccinated. And you stood up for what you believed in. And everyone looked at you and they ridiculed you. And all of a sudden it went away.
The table's turned.
Yeah, the table's turned. And you're thinking, damn, I'm glad I stuck to my guns on that.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing when you look at, this whole opportunity with XRP. I mean, they fought the fight. They won, they're victorious. And when you look at what they're doing, I mean, first class and everything, these acquisitions and all the stuff, the partnerships, it's either the biggest joke ever and they're wasting money, or it's the greatest opportunity that most people don't see. Your comment on that?